The pandemic fund from being misused. The executive head of the pandemic fund at the World Bank has confirmed the recent $129 million allocated for Mpox will hardly be mismanaged. This as they have put measures to ensure their transparency and accountability in the allocated fund for Mpox in the 10 African countries, including Kenya. Anastasia Mukabi with more details.
The pandemic fund allocated $129 million for Mpox in 10 African countries, including Kenya, to contain the outbreak. This in order to curb the COVID-19 billionaires saga, where a section of leaders misused billions of funds allocated to control the pandemic for their selfish gains. The pandemic fund team has come up with a way to safeguard the funds and ensure there is accountability and transparency.
Pandemic Fund is hosted by the World Bank. Its allocation model relies on the safeguards and standards that its implementing entities have. Key implementing entities include the World Bank and other multilateral development banks, United Nations agencies, and global health initiatives. They were in fact selected on the basis of their fiduciary and environmental and social and gender safeguards. So we adhere to very strong standards in terms of safeguards and in terms of transparency.
Distributing over 50% of its resources to Africa, the Pandemic Fund aims to close the preparedness of pandemic gap in Africa and assist in strengthening the health systems.
The Pandemic Fund allocates a very large amount of its resources to Sub-Saharan Africa. It's because these countries in Sub-Saharan Africa have huge capacity gaps in terms of strengthening their prevention, preparedness, and response efforts. And it's also because demand has been really high from Sub-Saharan Africa, which of course reflects the fact that these countries recognize the gaps that they have, and they recognize the importance of investing in pandemic prevention, preparedness, and response.
Ebola being a major threat in East and Central Africa, the fund's support has played a great role in improving and preparedness, like in strengthening laboratories and help with workforce.
Our main focus of the Pandemic Fund really is longer-term preparedness, really getting all countries to that right level of preparedness that they can deal with a new outbreak as it emerges.
Anastasia Mukabi, TV 47.